my name's Lauren, and today is the 21st of June, which is known as International Yoga Day. And I always wonder what to do on this day. It doesn't feel right to just do an Instagram post when actually this practice has been so meaningful in my life for the last 15 years now. And so instead I thought, well, why not do a yoga practice and then share that with all of you. So today I'm going to share a solstice focused practice. So yesterday we had the summer solstice on the 20th of June, and the energy will last for the next few days. So as I bring you into the yin yoga practice, I'll talk a little bit about that energy and what that means. So first of all, before we begin, grab yourself your yoga mats and a couple of yoga blocks. And if you don't have yoga blocks at home, you can always get a couple of thick blocks instead. And you can also always practice without blocks as well. So when you're ready, we will begin. So come into Balasana or Child's Pose by taking the knees out wide, the big toes to touch. Sit back towards the heels and then walk the hands forward, either placing them onto the mat or onto your blocks. Melt the forehead into the mat. And just take a moment to really be with yourself here in this posture. I'll mind the time and I'll let you know when to transition into the next posture. But for now, just feel the connection of your body to the mats, the sensation of your knees and your forehead pressing into the floor. And then feeling that openness through your lower back and your underarms. And just noticing where else in the body you feel this posture. Take yourself a layer deeper. And notice what's your overall energy today. How have you arrived to the mats? Maybe you're feeling really tired and in need of some nurturance. Or maybe you're feeling nice and energized and just practicing for the mental benefits of the practice. And then also just noticing if there's any dominant emotions that are arising for you as you sit here in presence on your mats. And as you lie there in your child's pose, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the energy of the summer solstice. So on the 20th or 21st of June every year, the sun will appear to stand still in the sky. And that gives us the moment to pause and to reflect, and maybe even to decide whether we need to realign with our life's path. So in the Northern Hemisphere, where I'm teaching this class from, this point in time signifies the start of our summertime, my favourite time of year, as we experience the longest daylight hours of the year. And then from this point onwards, the sun will begin to go lower and lower in the sky, reducing the amount of sunlight until we reach the summer solstice in Capricorn season. Just take a moment or two more to be here in your Balasana, to root down into the ground and to surrender to this moment. In a moment, we're going to slowly transition out of our posture. So from Balasana, if you just press your hands into the mat or into your blocks, lift the chest, lift the head, and then begin to walk the hands back towards the body, eventually drawing the knees back together and just come into a comfortable kneeling position, or you can come to a cross-legged position if that feels better for your body. And we're just going to take a short rebound. So much like the sun standing still in the sky, this is a moment for us to pause and reflect, and just to observe how the posture has impacted our body, our energy, and our emotions. When you're ready, blinking the eyes back open. Right, next posture, we're going to come into a chest opener. So just rolling forward onto your belly, move the blocks out of the way, and then bring your right arm out to the side with the palm facing down and the palm of the hand in line with the right shoulder. Bring the right ear down to the mat, and then press the left hand into the floor so that you can roll the body towards that right side. You might just want to stack the legs on top of each other, or if you want to deepen the stretch, bring the sole of the left foot to the floor and allow the knees to drift over to the left. You'll feel quite a strong stretch through the front of your right shoulder into the chest. And with your upper arm, your left arm, see if you can just softly allow it to be without holding on too tight or pushing too deeply. And just softly holding your body in this position. You're going to stay here now for the next few minutes. And as you lie here in the stillness, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the solstice energy. So what does the solstice mean for us? Well, we believe in astrology that as above, so below. And so this is a time for renewal, for growth, abundance, and hope. And at the moment, the sun has just transitioned into the sign of Cancer, giving us a blend of both a really active and yang energy, as well as the passive yin energy. When the sun is in Cancer, this is a time that our emotions can become more dominant, come more to the forefront. And if we are able to really tap into our heart's desires, our true genuine wishes, this can be a really positive opportunity to bring our dreams onto the earthly plane. So I'm just going to leave you for a moment or so more so you can ponder those words and what they mean for you. Just noticing what's happening in the body as you lie here in the stillness. And although our yin practice is somewhat passive, we're not trying to force the body or strain to reach our toes or wherever it may be. There may still be some discomfort as we find the balance between not pushing our bodies too much, but also not being completely passive where we don't feel sensation at all. It's all about finding this kind of middle ground or finding this edge, which we slowly creep towards. And then we lie there in the stillness, lying on the edge of our discomfort. And although our bodies are in stillness, sometimes our minds can find it quite difficult. They want to latch on to every thought that passes. And so part of our practice is to be the silent observer, to witness what's coming up in the mind, but instead of becoming attached to the thoughts, we just allow the mind and the thoughts to drift off, almost like you're watching the clouds slowly pass in the sky. knowing that you are not the clouds and also you are not your thoughts. And just take in a few more breaths in this posture. And then slowly begin to roll the body back to the center. Coming to lie back down onto your belly, and maybe just turning the head in the opposite direction, releasing the arms down by the sides. Take a moment to be here, to rebound. And then when you're ready, we're going to slowly transition to the other side. So taking the left arm out straight, palm of the hand facing down. Bring the left ear to the mat, and then press into the right hand, and slowly roll the body toward the left. Again, you can stack the right leg on top of the left, or maybe bring the sole of the foot to the floor, and allow the knee to drift over to the right. Find that stretch through the front of your left shoulder. And then be there in the stillness for the next few minutes. So this time over the next few days is a really good opportunity for us to start to breathe new life into the second half of the year. So many of us will have set goals at the start of this year, whether that was manifesting with the Capricorn new moon or just simply setting resolutions, as we often do in the West. And now as we come up to this halfway point, we also have the full moon in Capricorn right now. So it's really like the end of a 6-month cycle, the first 6 months of the year. And we're now about to enter into the second half of the year. And so it's a really good time to look at whether the goals that you set at the beginning of the year are still aligned. Have any of them come to fruition? Or have any of those wishes or dreams or goals completely changed? And is it time to maybe set some new ones based on where you are right now? But first of all, like I said, the sun is appearing to stand still in the sky. And so before we begin to set new intentions for the second half of the year, this is a really nice time over the next couple of days to pause, to take the same kind of standstill as the sun, and to look to the stars for inspiration. Where do you want to move forward? How can you realign with your chosen path? Notice if there's any parts of the body where you're holding tension. Relax the jaw, the forehead. Relax the belly and the toes. Softening all parts of the body. And bringing your awareness to that part of the body that's calling for your attention. The front of your left shoulder. And when you're ready, you can slowly begin to roll the body back to the center. Release the arms down by your sides. Maybe turn the head in the opposite direction as you take your rebound. Your rebound is this opportunity once more to pause in between postures. It's very different to our kind of more active yoga classes where we use the breath to flow from one posture to the next. In our yin practice, we really slowly and mindfully take time in between the postures to notice the impacts that they're having on our bodies and our nervous systems. And so be with this present moment. Without any sense of rush. When you feel ready, you can gently press your way up into a tabletop position. If you do have yoga blocks, bring them back onto the mats. And from here, we're going to keep our hips stacked on top of the knees, and we're going to start to rest the elbows onto the blocks. Sink the chest lower towards the floor, and bring the hands into a prayer, taking the prayer and going to the back of the head. Just making sure that you give yourself enough space in between the blocks so that the head can easily rest in between. And then feel the heart melting down towards the ground. As you feel this openness through the underarms, the triceps, and also into the lower back. And if you don't have the blocks, or if it feels too much, you can also just do a very similar posture, coming into Anasana. So keeping the hips where they are again, and this time just mounting the arms to the floor, and bringing the forehead or the chin to the ground. You'll get quite a similar stretch, but just with a little bit less intensity. Again, you're going to be there for a few minutes. So really use a slow, steady breath to help you to stay present. So this year's solstice, which happened in the late hours of yesterday evening, on Thursday the 20th, took place directly before we had this full moon in Capricorn this evening. So this will be the first of two full moons in the sign of the sea goats. And with the combined energy of the solstice, this is a potent moment for manifesting. The solstice energy is said to expand and amplify, and also to bring about rebirth and recalibration. As we close off one part of the year, before we enter into the next, this energy will amplify our ability to rise from the ashes of anything that's not been serving us in the first half of the year, so that we can spread our wings like a phoenix and go forth into the second part of the year. So think about anything that you'd like to leave behind. Anything that's felt really difficult or unfair or unjust. And make the choice right now to let it slip away. To no longer feel its power holding you back or holding you still. And instead to set your intentions to move forward where you wish to go. I'm going to join you in this posture for the last minute or so. And if at any point it feels too much, just know that you can always release and come back into your tabletop, and then maybe take a child's pose. You have the hands behind the back of the head. Gently begin to release the hands forward. Press the hands into the floor, lift up through the chest, and walk the hands back towards the body, coming to sit back onto your heels and taking your rebound. Gently begin to blink the eyes open. When you're ready, just roll over to one side of the feet and sweep your legs forward. From here, we're going to come into a butterfly. So just bring the soles of the feet together, knees apart. And depending on how intensely you want to feel the stretch, you can either bring your legs into a diamond shape, which will be less intense, or you can bring them closer to the heels, closer towards the body, which will make it slightly more intense. So just choose your version. And then when you're ready, you're going to slowly fold over the legs, drawing the crown of the head down towards the soles of the feet. And don't worry if you don't reach the feet. You can always bring your hands on top of the feet to create a cushion, or you can bring your blocks on top of your feet so that you can make a pillow for the head. And again, just being here for the next few minutes as I tell you a little bit more about the energy of tonight's full moon. So on the 21st, the full moon will reach its peak in the sign of Father of Capricorn. So with this comes a moment of recognition and celebration of all of the accomplishments that you've achieved over the first 6 months of the year. So it's a time for us to celebrate how far we've already come, instead of always feeling like there's another goal for us to achieve. And once you've had that time to be grateful for everything that has come into your life in the first half of the year, it's from this place of gratitude that you can then set your intentions for the 6 months ahead. And since the moon is in Capricorn, which is one of the most hardworking and industrious signs of the zodiac, the energy is often about working hard, setting up goals, trying to reach them. But we can also take the imagery that we associate with Capricorn, which is this sea goat, which the sea part is able to go with the flow and the rhythm of life. And then as it emerges from the water and begins to climb its personal mountain, if we think about the image of the goats, these goats take these tiny little steps. They're not racing to reach the peak. They're slowly and mindfully and steadily reaching towards that eventual top. And so this is inspiration for us, because anything we create underneath the moon in Capricorn is meant to be something that's long-lasting and of high quality and value. And we all know that we can't create these things in the click of our fingers. We have to put in the hard work and the dedication and that steadiness that Capricorn is known for. So what do you want to be known for? What legacy do you want to leave behind? And this is the path that you might begin to step down over the next 6 months. From your forward fold, just take a few more moments there. When you feel ready, you can slowly begin to curl the body back to upright. When you reach the top, just come into a cross-legged position. Take your moment to rebound, to pause. Notice how you're feeling now, coming up towards the end of the practice. And how maybe your energy or emotions may have shifted. And hopefully your nervous system is feeling a little bit calmer. And we're going to take one more posture before we come into our final resting pose. So if you do have a yoga bolster, you can lie your bolster lengthways behind your back. And if not, you can just take hold of your yoga block, or you can grab a cushion from the sofa. And then you're going to lie down over your block on its flattest edge and come into a heart opening posture. So I'm going to take the bottom of my shoulder blades onto the top edge of the block and lean my head back. And then bring the soles of the feet together, knees apart, and allow my arms to open out to the sides. So opening up through the heart, through the lungs, through the ribcage and the diaphragm. Again, just staying here for a few minutes as I share the last of the lunar insights for this full moon in Capricorn. So Capricorn is a cardinal sign, which is ruled by Saturn. And so as a cardinal sign, Capricorn likes to focus its initiating energy on building something that's steady and long-lasting, which will eventually stand the test of time. And Saturn is also associated with showing us where we're committed and where we place limits on ourselves and on others. It highlights our boundaries and gives us the opportunity to set new expectations with anyone who's important in our lives. And this might cause us to question who and what we are committed to, and whether it's truly aligned with these big goals that we have for our future, for our legacy, for who we really want to be. And I'm going to leave you again in silence for a few moments. And I'm going to join you in this heart-opening posture before we come into our final resting pose. When you feel ready, slowly draw the knees back together, roll them over to one side and release the block. And come to lie down in your final resting pose in Shavasana. Taking the feet out wide, the arms out wide, and allowing the back of the body to completely surrender down to the ground. I'm going to leave you here now in the stillness, in the silence. Take as long as you need. When you finally feel the urge to emerge from the stillness, you can just softly bring a little bit of movement and breath to the body and eventually come all the way up to seated. Thank you for joining me today for your yin practice. And I hope to see you one day on the mats in person or online. You can find any of my classes on laurenbradyyoga.com. Thank you.